Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grand Theatre. It's Friday night. This is the Big Grand Comedy Show. Give yourselves a round of applause for turning up. We've got a great night of comedy. You're going to find the next 8 hours of entertainment are going to fly by. Please put your hands together for your hosts for this evening, Mr. Tony Vino. That was me doing the offstage, by the way, as well. So I don't think this is big production, please. Good to have you in. Hello, are we all well? So this is great. I host this show and I've been running it for about maybe 10, 12 years now, a couple of times a year. So we've got to think now, give us, if you've been to this show before, give me a cheer. Hey. If it's your first time, give me a cheer. Hey. They sound happier, don't they? You notice that a lot more, but that's absolutely fine. Good to have you. And so, well, the regulars, those that have been before, they're more observant of you. You'll say, well, Tony, you've been on this for a long time, and normally when you do it, it sells out, doesn't it, Tony? Yes, it does. You know, so when you were given an array of dates to book the Grand Theatre, they give you the Friday, the 19th of July. Did you know it was going to be the first day of the summer holidays? No, I didn't, everybody. No, I didn't, but you're all... listen, you've turned up, so well done. I don't count the empty seats, 282. But it's good to be here anyway, so thank you for coming. My goodness, it's the beginning of summer holidays. Where have people come from? So, hello, Lancaster people. Good to have you in. Lovely. Where else have we got people from? Front row, they always come to my show. Hello. Two front, you're the front row. You two, where are you two in from? Morecambe. Oh, crikey, flipping heck, look at that. That was Tyson Fury at the back as well, look at that. Yeah, there are other Morecambe people in there. That's fantastic. Morecambe, very good. What, are you excited about? Anything? No, you've got in a new thing, aren't you? You're getting is it an Eden project, or no? Are you getting a new nuclear plant? Are you getting... How's the bins? All right. Do you see Tyson running along the front? Yeah? Fantastic, you should high five. Look, that's great. We can also hear people opening cans in this place. This is showbiz. Crack on, MC. Bloody hell. All right, start on the road. Good to have you in, Morecambe people. That's great. Has anyone come from, outside the... What about, it was kicking off yesterday in Leeds. We got any Yorkshire people? Good. We managed to price them out here in Lancaster. Well done. That's impressive. It just kicked off in. I used to live in Leeds, and I lived where it's a place called Hare Hills, and I've lived there. And I don't know if you know, but it basically was in the news today. It kicked off because there was an issue with social services. It was something to do with social services, and they had an argument there, but then they set fire to a bus, which was it's a completely different service. You know, you would think, keep consistent, wouldn't it? You know, it's like, the NHS, there's big queues, so we're going to sink an RLI boat. You know, it wasn't, but it is. The wonderful thing about Lancaster is you wouldn't riot here, would you? You don't have anything to riot. I mean, you might, if you run out of hummus or something. Wouldn't it? And you wouldn't be setting fire to. You might throw couscous. That's it, like that. At the what's that? Wait till the end of the show. That's the poshest threat I've ever had. Wait till the end of the show, and I'll write a strictly worded letter. But you what? He's got his matches in his pocket. This is it. Listen, I'm happy to. This we're making news tonight. I'm still to get on the TV, so come and have a stand up. Have a stand up, right? Look, the guy that threatened me looks like John Major, right? Now I know you're pretty pissed about this Labour landslide, but there's no reason to set fire to Lancaster. I've got my matches in my pockets. That is a good heckle. I like you, sir. Well done. What's your name? Mick. Everyone say hello to Mick. Don't piss Mick off. Don't get him het up. burn your hair. Are you from Lancaster, Nick? Fantastic. What do you do, mate? What's your job? What's your life? Another cam. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. If ever there's just, if you see there's any pause in the conversation, you can just open a cam, right? That's what I want to happen. All right, here we go. See if you can time this one well. What's your job again, Mick? All right, you like that bit, Mick? No, cheers. Well, good. There you go. Right. And so, did you choose to move to Lancaster for retirement, as or like I've given up on life, and then? Born and bloody bred here, look at that. And if ever there's a man that's going to set fire to it, it's his right. God bless you, Mick, well done, right. So that's fine, right? Well, that's it, so it wouldn't, yes, yeah. I live in Manchester now. I used to, from Lancashire. I was born in Preston, but I didn't live in Leeds. It's all right, it's good, they say. I mean, there's a lot of rivalry, isn't there, between Lancashire and Yorkshire? But I tell the Yorkshire people, you've got the best everything, If you think, and you put Yorkshire before anything, and it makes it the best, they've got the best tea, haven't they? Yorkshire tea, they've got the best puddings, and serial killers. Honestly, they're absolutely fantastic, right? So what's going on? So we've got, has nobody come from outside of, more? Warrington, there we go. Oh, I got excited. I thought it was Warrington then. What did you say? Where are you from?
Brighton.
Brighton? Actual Brighton? Can you open a couple of cans, please? Just as a little 4-can salute, like that. That's amazing. You're on for it. Have you come to see Mick, or what's brought you to Lancaster from Brighton?
On a narrowboat on the canal.
It's another victim of that shitty Windows update. The narrowboats. It's absolute chaos. So you were on a narrowboat and you got stuck in Lancaster. Did it?
The Ribble Link.
Pardon?
They broke the Ribble Link. We can't get. We can't leave.
That's very true. You're not allowed to leave this building. That's great. So you narrowboat. Is it like, remember that one, the big boat that blocked the Suez Canal? Was it the same thing? Honestly, you guys for cotton bales, you're fucked. So is it the boat that's broke, or is it the canal that's broke? The canal's knackered. Bloody, hey, Mick? If you were Prime Minister, that would be all sorts of investment in defunct industries. Look at that. The canal's broke. Is this new? Sometimes, by the way, right, when I start the show, it does go from a comedy show to a council meeting, right? So we'll deal with the winds in Morecambe a bit. But is your canal knackered, Lancaster? Yes. No. This is what I like. He said yes, and you went no. This is what I like. You guys heckle yourselves, right? Make you look like the mayor, so I'm going to go with you on this, right? Is it knackered? What's going on with the canals? Just what? Just getting. Well, you laughed at that. Just getting tiger. Has anyone got vitiligo? I don't know. Anyway, that was the show. So right, listen, right, we're going to do... But I'm sorry to hear about your canal boat that you have to stay in Lancaster. And do you want anywhere to stay?
I've got a canal boat.
You got a canal boat. Yeah, but it's knackered, isn't it? Look at that, right? It's... I was trying to get you to go to Mix, to be honest, but... That's fine. Anyway, I'm going to show you my... I thought to start the show, right? Give me a cheer if you work in an office. Oh, this is for you people, right? I'm going to start the show with a PowerPoint presentation. Come on. You're going to find the next 4 hours. Right, here we go. Right, here we go. So this is just to say hello for those that are new to the show, introduce myself, and then I'll bring on the first act. Because we have 4 acts. We got Rob and Archie in the first section, break. And then we have the Pat and Stephen in the second section, and then whatever, and then we'll just set fire to some bins, right? Whatever you want to do, we could all go back to the canal boats if you've got room. That'd be ace. We could dig a new canal for you. There's enough of us here, right? Right, we'll get you to Brighton. Don't you worry about that, love. Right. I've been doing hosting this show for about 12 years now, and this is me, right? This is me, Tony Vino, right? I've been doing comedy 18 years now, right? This is what I looked like when I first began, right? That is what I look like. Now, this is so Tony Vino sounds a bit like Tim Vine, looks a bit like, and that's and apparently this is my celebrity looking like you know, Red Dwarf, or if you've seen Gordon Brittas, what do you think? British Empire, yes? Chris Barry? Yes, 4 of you. Excellent, right? Now, I've got one more celebrity looking like you, okay, for you. Now, here we go, right? Because there's a lot of you looking at me going, yes, big fan of Strictly, right? And I know you're thinking, it's Brendan Cole. What do you think, people? There you go. I think I'm a dead ringer. I did show this once before, and I was doing a show over in Leeds, right? It was a riot, and at the City Variety, thanks. City Varieties over there. Leeds is a great city, by the way. If you go to Leeds, there's a big sign. What they were thinking, the council have branded Leeds, right? Lancaster needs to get a cool brand. You go around the city centre of Leeds, big sign. It goes, Leeds, live it, love it. Which I think is quite cool. Leeds, live it, love it. Bradford, leave it. But Lancaster could get something like that. Lancaster, you're fine if you're on the roads, but avoid the waterways. That's the... So there you go, so that's my celebrity looking like. So, and I showed that in Leeds, and this old dear came up to me, right? I was at the City Variety, and she was like, listen, love, I'll be honest with you might want to drop that bit, you don't look nothing like him. I was like, you cheeky guy, I said I do. She went, trust me, I watch a lot of TV, right? Trust me, look, have a look at a programme called Benidorm. I'd never seen it, I googled it, but apparently... Unbelievable, that is rude, okay? That is really rude. So you should be ashamed of yourselves, right? So happy holidays. This is the first day of official school holidays. Hello to all the teachers. Well, come on. Okay, you're pissed already. You've been pissed since Wednesday, haven't you? Fantastic. Which is your school that you teach at? You take your time. You take your time. You're not a teacher? Was it? You're the one that screwed me up last time. Right, that's all right. Teacher down here, where do you teach? There she is. Look at that were quick. Look at that. That's it. What school do you teach at? Dallas Road. Nobody likes it. That's fine. Look at that. Dallas Road. High school, primary school? Primary school. Oh, fantastic. That's ace. Well done. You're gonna enjoy it. Pastoral support? Well, that's killed it. No, listen, well done. Well, either way, you get 6 weeks off. God bless you, right? Come on. Because that's got to be difficult, you know. You've been listening to kids going, I feel a bit of anxiety. And then, you know, give them some crayons and rub their hair. And it's, you know, stressed. I can see that. So you need some pastoral support tonight. So... Well, anyway, it's your summer holidays, because this is it, right? It's the beginning of the school summer holidays. This is it. England summer holidays 2024. That's us people, right? So enjoy yourselves. And now, the one thing I was going to show you, that just to get the thing, because I've done this show for like 10, 12 years, and as I know, Lancaster, beautiful place, and you know, and this is a historic building. And I always thought, and I've always been said, they said, look, make sure the show is upmarket, it's classy, because that's what we want here. So, to begin the show, right, this is a little gift to you. We're just going to get the show going with this, right? Something a bit upmarket, something a bit classy, something that fits Lancaster, and it's good to have you in Morecambe. And but here you go. So this is it. Well, this is a monkey weeing in his own face. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. There you go. That's a monkey weeing in his own face. I think we'll just zoom in one more time on that, if we could. Just look at the floor on that. That is unbelievable. He's on his summer holiday. He's got a drinks package. That's what it is. Tui drinks package, right? And I'll be honest with you, it's not actually as hard as it looks, right? This fella here is going to demonstrate. Come on, let's get you. Come on. English is on for a year. Right, let's do it, everybody. We've got two great acts for you in this first section, then we've got two great acts for you in this second section. We're going to have an absolutely fantastic... Are you excited for comedy tonight, people of Lancaster? Yeah. Marvellous stuff. We'll do, as is our tradition, we'll start the clapping with... we'll start it with a 4-can salute. Yes, it's... What we'll do, we'll get Morecambe to get the story. What was your name, my friend? It's Gaz from Morecambe, right? Okay, Gaz, right? Here we go. What's that short for? Gasoline? Gareth. Okay, excellent, right? For you American, right? Okay, right. So, Gaz, I'm going to point at you. Get up, and I'm going to go. Come on, Morecambe. No, we'll go right. Here we go. Come on, people. Let's do this. Come on, you get them clapping, whooping, cheering all the way. And then I want you to crowd surf. Okay, right? It's just something we do. It's just something we do. Absolutely fine. And everyone's settled. You're ready. You've just opened some crisps. Excellent, fantastic. Do you know it's pretty rock and roll this, right? Is anyone that needs to get out some Tara Masalata and dips? You all right? Good. Is everyone settled? Right, fantastic. They're all naked up there. You can't see, can you? Absolute swingers up. That's right. Okay, so we'll do this. Here we go. Right, guys, you ready? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. And I'll bring on Rob Deering. You're holding out. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Come on, Lancaster!
Hello! Happy Friday. It's Friday night. It's Friday night in Lancaster. It's Friday night! Your Majesties. Who's having a drink? Who's having a drink here tonight? I'm not drinking at the moment. Great audience work so far. That was great. You'll be handing a pantomime situation. Oh no, we wouldn't. Well done over there. Someone was close enough. Yeah, not drinking. It's amazing though when you're not drinking how every day, every morning seems pointless. But you get to a point in life you've got to make some decisions, I'm in my late 30s now, I'm 51. And these days I spend a lot of quality time with family. I do a lot of work for charity. I'm vegan. Essentially, I'm a prick. And it's really panning out. It's lovely to be here tonight. I'm going to play some music here tonight. You move some music? That's good, because I'm going to inflict it on you anyway. I'm a thwarted rock star. I used to have a band, and we tried really hard, but Jimmy quit, and Jenny got married. And I think everyone is going to get that joke. Has I've got a band now, but it's a gastric band, so that's my most successful band. Closest we got was a rock band. It's a heavy rock band, but very tidy rock band called OCDC. And that was... excuse me. I drove over from right across country today. I was really missing Wimbledon. Did anyone enjoy Wimbledon? Maybe three of you. I mean, I don't particularly follow the stuff, but it's great as a comedian when you're driving around. It's on the radio, it's a good distraction. I discovered this years ago. I was listening to, I say I'm not massively into it, but I was a big fan of Maria Sharapova. Do you remember Maria Sharapova? Big fan, I was a big fan. Then we found out that she'd been taking drugs, and then I thought she was fantastic. But I was on a motorway journey. It was like the quarterfinals, and it was Sharapova and Serena Williams. And I was listening to it on the radio, and it went, I came twice. It was one of the best journeys I've ever. No, I'm mildly exaggerating, but this is genuinely what I heard that day. Because I don't know, like you say, you don't massively follow the tennis, and I don't know if he still does it, but there used to be an umpire who's got like this really brilliant, like this authoritative, deep umpire voice with like a French Caribbean accent. Have you ever heard? Anyway, you know if you heard it. And what I heard, this is absolutely true. This is what I heard on the radio that day, right? Dirty love. It's perfect. Good times. I'm excited about being here tonight. I'm looking forward to entertaining you, but I've got to tell you, it's a little bit triggered because I had a bad experience in Brighton recently. Who's in from Brighton? Right, yeah, good to have you in. I should tell you. No, I won't tell you about it. It's a bit of a downer. I sound check instead. Check this stuff. Let's see if this is. Yeah, this seems fine. So yeah, I was in Brighton, and I thought to myself, Brighton, it's good to be back. And I went down to the seafront. I had a little snack, had a bag of chips, looking at the pier. When down from the sky, a freaking flock appeared. It was a seagull attack, 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 seagull attack. Yeah, that's working fine. That's fine. Thank you. Oh, thanks very much. Oh, for a minute there, I didn't think that round of applause was going to take. It's like a wet match. So thanks for. What are we talking about? So, do a lot of work for charity. Really don't like to go on about it. I've already mentioned it twice. And I'll give you a bit of backstory on that because. Shake, 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 shaking all night long, shaking all night long, shaking all night long. My dad had Parkinson's, so I do a lot of fundraising for Parkinson's UK to make up for that joke, and. You're good people, some of you are pretty shocked, and that does you credit, but I will say, my dad loved that joke. He did. He was, but he was okay. Done a lot of fundraising for the charity, karmically. I don't like to go on about it. 6 figures. So karmically, I think I've balanced out the joke. On the other hand, if you just heard that and just laughed freely, then yeah, you're a bad person. So, and another thing I was reminded of just before the show was really, it was nicer, not as triggering, is that recently me and my wife celebrated our wedding anniversary. 21 years married to my lovely wife. So I don't know if you know, but 21 years, that was our hummus anniversary. So, I am, last year was the big one, 20. Does anyone know what 20 is in wedding anniversaries? Shit. I think you're thinking of your wife, sir. It's porcelain, which is amazing, right? Because we had celebrated by having the bathroom done, even though we didn't know. Yeah, you're right, shit. No, good times. In fact, I was going to do a song about me and my wife's wonderful marriage, but if anything, it's quite early on, it's a bit too sexy. I mean, are you ready for the funk?
Yeah.
I said, are you ready for the funk?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm starting. Don't worry about it. Hey, have you heard the news? Yeah. I'm in my 50s, it was a car crash, I really should have the blues. But hey, check out my loving wife. Yeah. She did the most wonderful thing that a person can do for a man of my time in my life. Do you want to know what my wife did for me? I said, do you want to know? She did my tax return, filled in my tax return, come on, submitted my tax return. And I'm freelance, but that year I had a grant and there were also capital gains. So, yeah, what a woman, what can I say? In case you're wondering, that was me attempting to twerk. I just can't get used to the idea that I was born almost completely without buttocks. So, just shaking jeans around essentially. So, hey, check out Mrs. Steering. And I'm talking about my wife, not my mother. She does this wonderful thing in the bedroom. It's niche and it's difficult, and I really respect it in my lover. Do you want to know what the niche, difficult thing me and my wife do in the bedroom is? I said, you want to know? We do the crossword, the cryptic crossword. Come on, it's a difficult crossword. What I'm saying is we haven't had sex in ages. In fact, I probably could have said it quite quicker, but I wanted to get the funk out, and for that, I will never apologise. But yeah, don't get me wrong, wonderful relationship. I love my wife. She's very beautiful and punching. She's gorgeous. She's flaming hot, my wife. And she's perimenopausal, so she's literally flaming hot. She gives off this. It's quite actually really romantic because I lost quite a lot of weight a few years ago. I have trouble staying warm, and during the night she gives off this kind of blazing heat, and that keeps my organs from shutting down. So. But that's all for me. Here we go. Any other runs in? None, not one. None of you see you all at parkrun in the morning, yeah? No. Anyone ever done a marathon?
Yeah.
Hey, and down the front ever again? Would you ever do it again? No. Sensible. Back there, madam, would you do a marathon again? No. I've done 24. Idiot. But I have done, thanks for the woo there, that's right. I've done 24 marathons. You're just such nice people. You're wooing and clapping and you're just thinking, why? Can't answer. It's like a Forrest Gump thing. Just started running, just carried on running. I'm not a smart man. But I get it. You're not a marathon running. All the people who are going running in the morning have gone to bed now. That's fair enough. But I will say, you should know that doing all those marathons has not changed me as a person. So I don't know. Thanks very much. That's that one. I've got a street map of Bolton that I hope I'll never need. Just a short song, that one. Short songs. Whether you're pregnant or just fat, congratulations on that. That's actually been one of the songs I did that were ideas for greetings cards you don't normally see in the shops. Please don't get well soon. We've sublet your room. Thanks for the invitation, but I don't want to come, cause I don't like your girlfriend and I've slept with your mum. What about guitar? Any other guitarists in? So there, you're not a guitarist, are you? No, because you just went like that, and if you're at an auction, you just bought yourself a fridge. That's what I'm saying. Well, fair enough, you're not a guitarist. No guitarist, okay. Well, this is a guitar, next. It's an electric guitar, it plugs in. And just a common garden electric guitar, nothing fancy about it, you know. Pretty straightforward. Thank you. But I've got some pedals. This pedal changes my guitar, because you'll have noticed I'm the only member of my band. So yeah, I've got pedals to make up the band. So the guitar changes to bass with this one. Yeah. Bass line, taking it low for you, taking it so low, it's gonna make you wanna do a poo, now do a poo. Go on, Morecambe, let it go. Just check it out. Yeah, that's it. You're welcome. Enjoy. That's it. This one in the end changes it from an electric to an acoustic guitar. Sweet smelling clouds on the breeze. Some prick is vaping near me. Short songs, this is short song. I've got distortion up here for the rock sound. What's a classic rock riff, one of the famous rock guitar parts? Smoke on the Water, excellent. Thank you for cupping your hands, that wasn't necessary. Smoke on the Water is right, so Smoke on the Water! You're on the other side of a swollen river, that's lovely. But yeah, superb choice, Smoke on the Water. None of you play the guitar, but if any of you have ever dabbled in the guitar, you might know Smoke on the Water as 035, 03, 65, 035, 3 notes. Still totally rocks. Yeah. Although the original song's not in notes, it's not in E, it's in G. It starts up here, it goes like this. Smoke on the pavement, it's not allowed inside. I used to be in a double act with the late great George Michael. Yeah, and I'd say something like, so George Michael, what would you call those little rodents? You know, not rats, smaller than that, the little cheese-eating rodents with the whiskers. Oh, well, I guess it would be mice. Smoke on the Water, that's a classic rock riff. Can anyone trump Smoke on the Water for classic rock? Stereo, I'd actually use the acoustic pedal for stereo, but yeah, good choice. Stairway to Heaven by Led Dawson. And thank you for being old enough to enjoy that joke. So George Michael, what would you normally serve with a curry? Oh, well, I guess it would be rice. Smoke on the Water, Stairway to Heaven, any other classic rock riffs? Come on. Thunderstruck. Oh, okay, fair enough. We'll come back to that when I've worked out how the hell to play it. While my guitar, it's not a classic riff, but it's more So George, bless you. It's the ghost of George Michael. George Michael, what would you? Who's the son of God? Well, I guess it would be Christ. Now, George, how many times have I done this joke now? Well, I guess it would be thrice. Still on it. Stay with it. So George Michael. What would you call a very, very young, very, very small human child? Baby! That's it, I've got it on my system now. But maybe in the interval you can carry it on, workshop it, get yourself a gin and tonic. Hey guys, what's this QB stuff keeping my drink cold? Tomorrow morning, oh no, what's that crawling through the kid's hair? So yeah, Thunderstruck, it's not one of the famous classic AC/DC riffs like Back in Black or Highway to Hell. No, it's less famous, not as good as those, but much more difficult to play. So thanks very much. I'll tell you that much. But I'm finding so yeah, and then that was the loop pedal I was using to do that. Yeah, you get it. So that's the equipment I'll be using here tonight, and I suppose what I should do now is get started. No, I'm going to go. You can follow me on all the socials. As I say, some of you I know are too old for that. But if you're into, the social media, go for it. You can follow Rob Deering on Twitter. He's an attorney in San Diego, so that should be a lot of fun. You've been lovely. You've got a great night ahead. I'm sorry to go. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the summer holidays. I'm Rob Deering. Very much. Good night.
Absolutely fantastic. He's just going to clear his shit away before I bring on the next act. So, no, it's not a reason to leave. What are you doing? Look at that. Well, I think that's me done. But I'll do it. Great. Get some crisps open. This is fantastic. That's the way it works in Lancaster. Everything all right? Did anyone get affected by the? Obviously, Skynet got released today, we didn't know. I think it was going to be a Windows update that was going to bring down the. Did anyone get affected? Did you have a day off work? How did it affect you then? You stayed at work. You stayed at work. They work in the hospital. Unbelievable. Look, they usually get a clap, but it's not a Thursday. So just give us some crisps anyway. Bless you. So you work in the hospital, but how did it affect you? Did you have a blue screen? Did you have you cleared your backlog? They couldn't see the bloody roster. Can you believe it? That's a nightmare in showbiz as well, to be honest. So there we go. I mean, yes, NHS, but healthcare went down. All the airlines went down. People trying to get off on holiday. Ryanair, there was massive delays, chaos of baggage. They weren't affected. But anyway, there we go. I think that's in the right. Okay, it's time, right? So it's time for your second act of the first half. Are we all excited? Yeah! Should we wait for her to come back from the toilet, or just? No, don't do that, no. Just give her a cheer when she gets it, no. So we'll do that. Listen, your second act, Liz, you're absolute great mate of mine, and he's just an amazing actor. He's been all over TV, he's been on, you'll know him from Phoenix Nights and from all sorts of other stuff on TV. You're going to absolutely love him. He's brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the amazing Mr. Archie Kelly, everyone!
Can I just say, that's the nicest and the longest round of applause I've ever had coming onto stage. So we've run out of time now. I'd like to finish with a song you might know. Actually, I don't usually start like this, but I've just had, like we've had a couple of years where everything's been going wrong in the world, right? And I've just had 2 bits of good news, and I thought, just to cheer us up before I start, I'll share this good news with you. Do you mind if I share this news with you? Just the 3 of you? Yeah. Yeah. That's a dirty laugh you've got, isn't it? It's not you've been ringing me up, is it? Just wonder why you stopped. That's all. Yeah, I've just had 2 bits of good news. The first bit of good news I had, I've just found out, I was doing a gig last night, and I found out at the end of the night that I'm going to be going to India. Yeah, it was a fortune teller who told me. What it was, I was on stage, and there was a woman sitting right at the front of the stage. She had jet black hair, dyed black hair, and rings on every finger, earrings, necklaces. I knew straight away she was a fortune teller. She's the one who told me I'm going to India, because what happened was, as I came off stage, she jumped up, she grabbed my arm, and she looked me right in the eyes. She said, "You're going to die poor." So if you could all laugh together at the timing for me, it's good. Another bit of good news I've had, I've just found out that my ban is now up from Asda. I'm allowed back in. Well, people get banned for things like shoplifting, don't they? I got banned, believe it or not, for telling the truth. Can you believe that? I went in one day, I was a bit distracted, I'll be honest. I had my head down. There's 2 doors. Two doors at Asda, right? 2 doors. Making myself laugh here. Don't come out my money if I laugh, does it? No. All right. I went through the first door, and I just saw, when I got to the second door, I just saw these red shoes. And I looked up, gorgeous pair of legs. I looked a bit further up, red skirt on, a bit further up, white blouse, and those red neckerchiefs on. And as I looked at her face, she was looking at me. She went, "Hello." I went, "Hello." She said, "Do you think I could interest you in a shower?" I didn't know she was selling them. But I'll be honest with you, I'm glad we're in 2024 now, because I wanted to get out of that 2023, because I'm superstitious, you see, and odd numbers. Anyone else superstitious? Well, that's an odd number, isn't it? Somebody else answer, for God's sake. I did that on purpose. No, because as a kid I used to look forward to all the even numbers. Like we just had an even number, like we're in an even number now. We've just had great sporting events. We just had the Euros, haven't we? And as a kid I used to look forward to all those sporting events in the even numbers, like in the World Cup. And as a kid I could name all the World Cup winners, right from the first World Cup in 1930, Uruguay were the first winners, all the way up to 1966, and I couldn't be arsed after that, to be honest with you. And then sporting events, we had Olympics on even numbers as well. And in 2012, in our country, we had Olympics, didn't we? Did anybody go? No. Can I just point out when I'm asking these questions? I am not from the DSS. All right. There's people looking at me going, "Don't tell him anything, he's not from round here." Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know who your favourite was. Did anybody watch on TV, by the way, 2012 Olympics? Yeah. Who was your favourite in that one? To save time, I'll tell you who mine was. Mine was that South African lad. You know, the one who was winning all the women's races? He was really good in that. As me know. Listen, I've had to think about that joke, because years ago when I started doing comedy, you had to be what you call PC, politically correct, and watch what you say. And I've noticed that just lately, and it bothers me, just lately, sexism has started to creep into comedy, and it bothers me. Does it bother anyone else? No? What about the girl with the big tits at the back there? There's a few lads starting to look round, and I saw that. If you did look round, it's not your fault. Like, we're programmed to do it. I could stand on this stage and pontificate all night long about sexism. You'll all nod and agree, it's terrible. As soon as we hear that word, we can't help it, can we? But just be careful, because that's how they got Rolf. Now the thing is, shooting a messenger. Now I deliberately looked up at the back there because I know there's nobody at the back there because I've come unstuck doing that job before. I was in a theatre in Yorkshire. I was on the stage and the seats went up in the theatre, you know, and the lights were that I couldn't really see beyond the first few rows, you know, and there was a woman sitting about 4 rows from the front. And when I did that, when I said, not only was she big, she was unusually big. She was enormous, and she had one of those low-cut things on, you know. And everyone assumed I was pointing right at her, but I couldn't even see her because the lights were that bright. It was like being back on the roof at Strangeways. I couldn't see a thing. Anyway, at the end of the gig, she come up behind me, started having a go about me being a sexist. Now, usually what I would have done, after 10 seconds, I would just walked away, said, I do apologise. Lights were in my eyes, I couldn't see her. 10 minutes I stood there while she went on with herself. Anyway, I hope you realise, ladies, what I'm doing very cleverly through the medium of comedy, dealing with sexism as an issue, because I think it's the best way to deal with it. Because I'm not a sexist, don't get that idea, because I can prove I'm not a sexist. Because talking about the Olympics, my favourite event in the Olympics was a women's event. It was the women's beach volleyball. And I was watching it on my own one night, I went past my own personal best. Too far. All the bad things happen in the odd numbers, you see, that's why I don't like the odd numbers. Like 2011, we had riots all over the country, didn't we? Anybody go to them? No. You might go, shouldn't talk about terrible things like riots, but I'm telling you now, you can always find some good that will come out of any bad situation. And for me, the good that came out of the riots in Manchester, for example, is it proved to me that people up north are friendlier. Do you agree with that? Yeah. Because you remember that lad on the news in Salford? When he kicked in that shop window and he opened it for everybody else. Remember that? Won't get that in London, would you? And they had the credit crunch. Have you had the credit crunch round here yet? If this is a staring competition and you've not told me, just to let you know that you're winning at the moment. Well, you've all had these things come through the post trying to convince you that you can't survive in the modern world without a credit card. And the reason why they want you to have one, and I'm not being paranoid, once you get one of those, they know all about you, all your spending habits, all your movements, all your likes, all your dislikes. I'm not being paranoid because I caught them out. I was going to Spain one Saturday afternoon, so you know what it's like, you're putting things in, aren't you, taking them out again, putting them in, changing your mind, taking them out again. And then I'm thinking, it's 40 degrees where I'm going, do I need a sheepskin coat, you know what I mean? Anyway, I thought I'll go and get a few last minute things, you know, like toiletries and that. So I went down to Sainsbury's because I wasn't allowed in Asda, and I put the credit card down on the till. That girl had never seen me before in her life. She took one look at my credit card. She said, do you need any help with your packing? See what I mean? It's only so long I couldn't wait for that one. And then 2013, apparently we got the man behind the terrorism, didn't we? That Osama bin Laden. Do you believe he's dead, by the way? Do you believe he's dead? I'm not asking any more questions, you're getting on my nerves now. 2001, odd number again, remember? We're all sitting at home watching the Twin Towers being hit live on TV. We've never seen anything like it, have we? And while it was happening, they pinned it on Osama, didn't they? Now, you know the way they found Saddam? They were looking for Osama the same way, weren't they? They were searching for him in the bins, in the grids, in the caves. And where was he when they got him? In his house, wasn't he? I'm not making it up, he was. He was watching Emmerdale when they came in. And it turns out he evaded capture for so long because he got 10 lookalikes to run round and create confusion. 10 struggling actors went to do it. And when I read that, the first thing I thought was, where was that job advertised? And how struggling as an actor have you got to be to go do it? Then I realised there's got to be one from Manchester. And you watch, a couple of years' time, BBC 2 on a Tuesday night, when there's nothing on, it'll be there, his video diary. No electricity, no central heating, no furniture, shit everywhere, and if I go outside I get shot at. I thought, fucking might as well go to Afghanistan. I don't want you thinking I don't take things seriously going in the world, I do. And when you've lived abroad for a while, you do get a different perspective on the world. Has anyone in the room lived abroad anywhere? The rest of you, ever been on a bus or anything like that? No. Staring again. Where did you live when you were abroad over there? I think I'm already. Never mind. It's a short stay here, wasn't it? Well, never mind. No, because years ago, because languages was my thing, and I had to, Spanish was the main language I was studying, and my third year in the course I had to go live in Spain. So I wanted an authentic experience, so I chose to go in this little village that's remained unchanged for hundreds of years. It was a little village called Torremolinos. And if anybody knows it, I used to live just in between Harry Ranson's chip shop and the karaoke bar. And I realised what they mean when they say we live in a global village nowadays, because I was in Rusholme in Manchester the other week, getting a kebab, and who walked in behind me? Only the lad who lived in the apartamento above me. Listen up. And he told me this joke. You're such a nice listening, bordering on staring audience. Would you like to hear this joke? But I don't want anyone going out of here telling people I'm stealing jokes. I'm telling you clearly that it is not my joke, but it's fresh in my memory, and you're a nice audience. I'll do it for you now, so crack at this. You'll love this. But it's not my joke, I can't stress this enough. Fue una chica de su padre. Padre, tengo que confesarme. Have you heard it? Have you heard it? What are the odds on that? Can you imagine if I was a young lad, never been on stage before, that was my opening joke, you've all heard it. That could put me right off that, couldn't it? But I can see some of you are looking at me now thinking the fact that we've all heard that joke has not fazed this young lad one bit. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you something happened to me years ago, and I'm sure you'll agree, if you can get over something like this I'm going to tell you about now, you can get over anything. The fact that you've all heard that joke is nothing compared to what happened to me this particular night. I was doing a gig one night, it was all going really well, everyone was laughing, just use your imagination. And I saw this fella come at the back of the club, who was obviously bringing in bad news because the atmosphere in the place just dropped. And I found out at the end of the night, true story this, I found out that a member of our royal family had a terrible accident that night. And seriously, I don't know how I managed to get through the night, knowing that Princess Margaret was called in both her feet on the lovely holiday island of Mustique. I can hear women laughing, you should be ashamed of yourselves. That terrible accident that she had jumping feet first into a scalding hot bath, that could happen to any of us tonight. I don't know if you know this, but it turns out that physically she healed up very, very quickly. But mentally the scars stayed with her because she was so upset that nobody had done a tribute song about it. And she said her favourite singer was Sting. That's not a joke about the feet. Can you imagine that? You got no skin left on your feet, my dear. They look like toast on one side. You're always pissed up, so you slaver when you talk, like that big girl, the Duchess of York. Now you're wearing orthopedic shoes, a walking cane here at your side. Your big ass waddles when you walk, like that big girl, the Duchess of York. Whoa, turn up the heat and then get in the fucking bath again, but this time with the Duchess of York. Anyway, I didn't get invited to the garden party this year. I sent the tape. Can I just say, I got into entertaining when I was a very young man because I liked entertaining people, not upsetting people. So if there are any fans of the royal family tonight, then fuck you. I'll be honest with you though, during that first lockdown, the royal family kept us entertained. Not him, the others kept us entertained. When I said not him, straight away you all thought the same one, didn't you? We all watched that car crash interview with Emily Maitlis where he thought he was being dead clever. I don't know what your favourite bit was, but my favourite bit was when he said, it's a straightforward shooting weekend. Straightforward shooting weekend. I thought, if he wants to see a straightforward shooting weekend, I'll take him to Salford on a Friday night. No, the other two, Harry and William. William got upset because Harry wrote a book, didn't he? His older brother, William, got upset, apparently gave him a slap. Now, as soon as I read that, I thought to myself, if they had a real fight, who'd win? And straight away I thought Harry would win, because he'd fight dirty, wouldn't he? Because he's a wrong un. And as a former school teacher, every time I look at this lad, I ask myself that age-old question, nature versus nurture. Born into the royal family, been to all the best schools, still likes to get drunk and have a fight, doesn't he? And you have to ask yourself, nature versus nurture, who's to blame for that? Is it his dad or is it King Charles? Who's to blame for that? Oh, like you never thought of it. Don't give me that. But it's fun enough, it's the last day of term today, isn't it? Have we got any teachers in today? Yeah? Any teachers in? No, they're all pissed by now. But, well, it is nice. It's nice to have I used to look forward to that last day. When I was teaching, actually, I remember when I decided to pack it in, I wasn't sure whether to pack it in or not. And I told the class, I said, I might be packing, I might not. And then when I did decide to pack it in, they sent one of the classes I had. They sent me this lovely card, honest to God, and it said on it, "Sorry to hear that you're still leaving." Right? I mean, if I'm being picky, they'd spelled leaving L-I-V-I-N-G. Which was a bit. But no, I used to teach Spanish and French. So anyone speak any other languages? No. You're staring again. But it's what, sorry? Not very cultured, no. So we haven't got a single teacher in tonight after the last day of term? No. Is it over there? Where are you? Where? Oh. Listen, mate, nobody likes the grass. So you're a teacher and you didn't know it. Good job I'm not from Ofsted, isn't it? Was it your last day today? You finished today? Yeah, lovely that. And so what, you're going to get 6.5 weeks, is it? 6? Not like you can book anything decent with 6, is it really? What's it? You want to go somewhere nice, you need a good 7, don't you, really? What's it? I know you're all looking at it now thinking, lazy bit, well you shouldn't do, right? And how long have you been teaching, miss? Maths is not your strong point, is it? Really? What subject do you teach, by the way? You're pastoral. Have you got any real teachers in anywhere? Where's that? I'm only joking. It's not a joke. Honestly, it's a very demanding job. But, so have you worked out, remember how long you've been teaching? 26 years, my God. And in your 26 years, what's the cheekiest thing they ever said to you? The little one, I don't mean dwarves, the little ones. Don't set me off there, no. I've had it up to here with them. Go on. You can't remember? Okay. Can't remember. She's teaching kids. Anyway, the thing is, my story is year 9 Spanish. For the older ones, that's the old 3rd year, right? Year 9 Spanish, one Thursday afternoon, never forget it, a girl put her hand up in the class. She said, "Sir, we're going on holiday next week with the family to Spain. How do you say in Spanish, 'You German bastard, get your towel off there'?" I said to her, "You're a very, very cheeky young lady." I said, "If you couldn't be bothered coming in for last week's lesson, I'm not going over it all again." I tell you what you can't do though, miss, you can't, what's your name, miss? Lynn, I'll tell you what you can't do, you've never done it. You can't do 2 jobs at once. I was only joking about the holidays. I used to do the job myself. You can't do 2 jobs at once. I tried to do it. I was teaching during the day and I was doing comedy in the evenings. And believe you me, when you do 2 jobs like that, before long, one starts to affect the other. Now, funny enough, the teaching did not affect the comedy one bit. Are you chewing, Lynn, by the way? But the comedy started to affect the teaching, and that's one of the reasons why I had to pack it in. I'll give you an example. I'm doing a lesson one day. There's a lad at the back of the classroom talking while I'm trying to do my lesson. Now, instead of dealing with it the way we're taught on teaching practice, I got all the kids in the class to turn around and point at him and go, 1, 2, 3, shut the fuck up! Started getting a few complaints about me. I noticed a lot of the kids in my class, they started to wet themselves because they were too frightened to get up and go to the toilet. And then one day I stopped doing it. This lad, he got up to go to the toilet and I waited till he got to the door. Just as he got to the door, I said, "You going for a wee or a poo?" He said, "I'm going for a wee before the real teacher comes on." But I tell you what though, there's a nice age spread in the room tonight, and the younger ones now, you wouldn't, or the older ones I should say, you go in a modern foreign language classroom now, you wouldn't recognise. It's all very colourful, very interactive. Might be walking around the classroom pretending they're booking a holiday, or they're booking a room in a hotel, or booking a meal, all useful stuff. The older ones, some of you remember this, you could leave school with A-level French, where you got to France and you couldn't even order a cup of coffee, right? We learned everything by rotation, by rote, and repetition. Did anybody do Latin at school in the first year at school? I remember doing Latin. It was all like, amo, amas, amat, amams, amat, amam. Never moved till the bell went. Now, since I've stopped teaching the modern way, because of the way I was taught, I've reverted to type. And it's made me become, and I hate myself for it, it's made me become a pedant about grammar. Now, I don't know if anyone else does this. You're on your own in the house, might be listening to the radio, watching TV, and all of a sudden you find yourself shouting at it. I do it now because of the grammar, not because of the content of the programme. I was listening to Radio 4 the other day, Radio 4 of all channels, talking about post-COVID. He said, and there will be less jobs. I went, fewer! Screaming at the radio. Now, I'm going to give you some advice. You can scream at the radio, you can scream at the television, but don't do this. Don't pick somebody up face to face on a point of grammar, because it's not nice. I did it with one of my favourite aunties. She was in her 90s at the time. She was a former English teacher, and we used to discuss grammar all the time. And we fell out because in the sentence that she was saying, she was using the future tense, and I thought it'd be slightly less ambiguous if you used the conditional tense. I can see a lot of you agree with me there, but in a nutshell, she was saying will, which is the future, and I thought it'd be better if she said would. And we fell out over 2 words, and she's passed away since. We never got a chance to make up. That's quite sad, that, isn't it? Don't you think? Yeah. But part of me still thinks I was right. She should have said, would you get me an ambulance? She argued till she was blue in the face that she was right. But if I'm being really picky, please wouldn't have gone amiss, but I'll let that go. Oh, while I'm on the subject of advice, don't ever do this, because we've got some young, attractive people in as well, and it's the lights. But the thing is, if anybody ever sends you a heartfelt letter, like a love letter, don't do what I did when I was on my teacher training. Don't make corrections and send it back. Now, when I said I was in Torremolinos, I was only joking. If anybody knows Spain, dead central Spain is Madrid. Go northwest towards Portugal. There's one of the oldest university cities in the world there, Salamanca. That's where I did my year abroad. And on my course was a German girl, about the same age, and she didn't speak a word of English. Anyway, through a mutual friend, we met, and cut a long story short, we spent the night together. I had hair and everything in those days. All right. Anyway, 12 months later, I'm back in Manchester at university, she's back in Germany, and through the mutual friend, she sent me this letter. She tracked me down to where I live, sent me this letter, and I guarantee the lads in this room, that letter was that nice, she'd have framed it and put it up in the living room. But I was on my teacher training. I just got one of those new highlighter pens. And you can't wait to start using them, you know. And the Germans will mix up words like make and do. They'll say, what you making when they mean what you're doing. Started with a few of them. Before I knew it, the page was full of orange with all these corrections. And she was so upset apparently when she got it back, she had to be sedated by a doctor. And she put all this lovely stuff. I remember she put, since our night together, I can never have children with any other man. I've developed a lifelong affection for you. That was the correct version. Instead of for you, she put from you. And instead of affection, she put infection. You know what I mean? The Germans, what they like. But you can always learn lessons from any situation. And you know that first lockdown when everyone was frightened to death? The lesson I learned, well, 2 lessons really. The first lesson I learned was exactly how far 2 meters was. But the second lesson I learned was to stop being judgmental. Some of you will have done it, going out at night, seeing other people out and saying, what are they doing out this time of the night? You know, that kind of stuff. Or in the supermarket, whispering to yourself, can't you follow our hose, you dickhead? You know, that kind of stuff. What it was with me, I always seemed to be the one giving way. Always giving way. Sometimes I was giving way and going into the road. And it's dangerous when you go in the road, isn't it? You know. And this particular day I thought, I don't care who it is, I am not giving way. I'm sick of it always being me giving way. I'm not giving way. Anyway, I was on this bit of a narrow path, and I saw in the distance this figure. And I thought, I don't care who it is, I'm sick of it always being me giving way. I'm not giving way. Anyway, got a bit nearer, and I looked and I thought, he looks a bit handy, this fella, you know. I'm going to give way one more time. And then after this, I'm not giving way. Anyway, when I got really close to him, you know, if you're playing football or something like that, you've got the ball near the touchline, and a fullback just drops his shoulder to try and nudge you into the tap. I saw him go like that, I wouldn't have reacted. Got a history of reacting. I went into him and he wasn't expecting it. Next minute, he's tippled over about 3 or 4 times. So I stopped, I thought, oh, you've gone too far, you've hurt him, you know. Anyway, I looked over and I just heard this. What the hell's that? Anyway, it wasn't him making the noise. I turned round, there's a woman on the other side of the road. I thought, what's she on about? I can't understand. Couldn't understand the word she said. So I turned the engine off and I took my helmet off. She was saying, look what you've done. And I thought she was having a go at first, but she was only being helpful. That's when I learned to stop being judgmental, because when I got off the quad bike, I could see the scratch. Now, it could have been one of his medals or the Zimmer frame, I don't know. But who does a sponsored walk at that time of the night? What a dickhead. I didn't have Captain Tom, did I? But yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of history of that, to be honest. But what can you do? I mean, it's nice to be up in Lancaster actually, because I like being in the north. Even now, after all these years, I don't like going to London. I've got nothing against Londoners, by the way. It's just that it always reminds me of the very first show I ever did in London. And before I went, actually, I was playing football in the Manchester Amateur League for a team called the ICI Blakely. And the ball went out of play, somebody got injured, and the lad on my team, he came over to me and he said, "Where are you going next week?" I said, "I'm going to London." He went, "London?" He went, "I'll tell you what, mate, when you get down there, don't let those cockneys have a go at you." He's doing very well now as a teacher, right? So I've never been to London before in my life, and now got this thing about cockneys not having a go at me, I'm not having a go. Anyway, so we do this show in this little theatre, and we're meeting in a bar over the road. I was very young, give me age away when I tell you this. And I'm first in because I was only young. Anyway, we're trying to get served, and I saw the door open, this fella came in. I'd never seen an overcoat like it. It was like one of those Crombie overcoats, beautifully cut, all the way onto his shoes, overlapping on his shoes, shirt and tie on, immaculately dressed. And as he walked in, everybody's fawning over him. "Do you want a drink? Do you want to sit down?" I looked at him, I thought, I've seen him somewhere before, you know. Anyway, got me back to him now, and as I've ordered my drink, he's right behind me, and he's picked up on my Manchester accent. Next minute, he's got everybody laughing about Manchester this, Manchester that, and I'm getting more and more upset, because I've been primed before he even went. And I've got my head down, and at the time, I thought I could fight, because it was just before I'd had my first good hiding, you see. I've got my head down, if there's any boxers in, I saw him shift the weight on one foot, and I thought, he's going to throw a punch, I'm going to get mine in first. I swiveled around him, wasn't expecting it. Uppercut, got him right on the chin, and he went down. Now, I'm not advocating violence, but it was a great punch. I saw the woman behind the bar, mouth open, she could not believe what she'd just seen, and a voice at the back of the bar. "He's only going to knock Ronnie out, hasn't he? He'll have to deal with the other one now." I went, "You what?" Was fired up. "You what?" He went, "You're only going to knock Ronnie out, ain't you? You'll have to deal with the other one now." I said, "Listen, pal," I said, "I'm from Blakely in Manchester." I said, "You seriously think that I'm frightened of Ronnie Barker?" Anyway, that didn't happen either. I'll tell you something that did happen though. It was only about 12 months ago now, I think it was. I hadn't played football for about 6 years because I had a bad injury, but I was still doing the running and everything. And someone asked me to play in a benefit match at Oldham Athletic about 12 months ago. It was called Manchester Remembers. It was to raise money for the Manchester bomb, you know, and the victims of the Manchester bomb. So I decided to go and play. Now, what I'd forgotten about is, don't matter how fit you are, you cannot play any kind of contact sport without a level of aggression. I don't mean running around kicking people, but you need aggression to be able to play. I actually enjoyed the game. So I played this game, and all the aggression come back as soon as I crossed that line. Anyway, it was on the way back from the game. I'm driving through Oldham, and this car, right near the lights, it come right across me, cut me right up. I was in aggressive mood, wasn't I? Jumped out of the car. Anyway, he must have seen me in his wing mirror. Next minute, the door opened. He got out and he stood up, he must have been about 6'7". And he looked at me and he went, "Would you get out your car for me?" And I went, "Just sold my car to me." Now, just before I go, just a couple of questions. Tony mentioned a programme before. Is anybody actually watching Brassic on Sky One at the moment? No. It's still not really hit the we're just about to start in January, we start Series 7, so that's good. So, but there's a different question, a show that Tony mentioned before. Is there any fans of Phoenix Nights? Yeah. 20 odd years later, it's still very popular, and that's great. But I'm going to, just for you Phoenix Nights fans, I'll finish with this little story. The first bit of the story you'll know about, and the second bit I guarantee you won't. So about 7 years ago now, we did some shows at the Arena in Manchester. And we raised over £5 million for comic relief from those shows, you know. And the thing is, if I'm honest, I wish I'd have kept my share now, but never mind. It's, it would have been cheaper to adopt a couple of dozen of them, you know what I mean? But you don't eat much and you can get them working, you know what I mean? But I can do that joke. Anyway, So anyway, so on the opening night of the show, 15,000 people in the arena. I'm having flashbacks now. 15,000 people, and apart from Peter Kay, the rest of us, we'd never been on stage on our own, doing our own things in front of such a big crowd. So it was a bit nerve-wracking. And Ted Robbins, who plays one of the characters in the show, plays Den Perry in the show, he had a heart attack on stage. Now, you probably read about that or saw it in the paper or whatever. Now, there was a guy who was only taking his wife and his wife's sister to the arena. He was just driving them, going to drop them off. His wife's sister wasn't well, so he went in her stead. He's sitting about 4 rows from the front, sees Ted go down, jumps on stage, saved his life. Then he just disappeared. Not like a magic hat, he went home, you know. We tracked him down, invited him to one of the shows, and he was in the green room, we were chatting to him, and it turns out he's a doctor who trains paramedics in resuscitation techniques. Couldn't have had anybody more qualified. Now here's the bit you won't know, and I'll finish with this, just for you Phoenix Nights fans. It turns out, talking to him, that this doctor who saved Ted at the arena that night was the same doctor who was in the crowd at Bolton Wanderers when Fabrice Mwamba went down. So say what you like about that doctor, I think it's a jinx. Enjoy the rest of the show, good night!
How about for the first section of itself? Excellent.
Head on the
20-minute
desk,
break.
it comes to the water,
Please refuel on crisps and.